Hello and welcome to this electrical installation part 2. We started this installation in part 1 where we discussed crimping, fuses and a lot of safety stuff and then quite a few technical things. So if you missed that, go and watch it because it will kind of explain what's happening here as we're largely just continuing where we left off. Make sure you come back though because we're going to be wiring the remaining chargers and the fan is going to come live. There's going to be power in the van. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Hey guys, before we start today, just a disclaimer, we are not professional electricians. We do have some basic DIY electrical and wiring knowledge, and we have done our own research, so we do think that what we are going to do today is the correct way to do it. However, please do take everything that we do and say with a pinch of salt on electrics here, because we're all learning and each of us has slightly different setups and needs, so please do your own research, double check everything you see from everybody, and if you don't have the required experience yourself, do have a professional check out your DIY system when you're done for, safety. With that out of the way, let's crack on and get some power in here. Okay, now for the chile part of the electrics. So our DC to DC charger, in the instructions it says that we need to connect the blue cable to the ignition, which sort of makes sense because the DC to DC charger is supposed to charge the leisure batteries when the van is on, so obviously the charger needs to know when the van is on. However, where is the ignition? So naturally we took to the interwebs and, asked around, asked a few of you, some of you gave us some ideas, and so we need to go find the fuse box, and that is where we're supposed to apparently use this. This is apparently a piggyback fuse, and I think Sam knows more about it, so I'm just gonna give you to him, because...
Alrighty, let's start with this fuse box first. Fuse box.
Right, oh, there's a lot of spaces.
There's a lot of spare... Okay.
So how are we supposed to figure out what we do here?
So what this piggyback fuse does is we can pull out one of the existing fuses in the van, put it in this, and basically hijack this power supply running to our BMW's blue wire. So that way when this fuse turns on, or is powered by the van, when the ignition turns on, we get power to this cable which gets power to our DC.
I don't think this is the right fuse box.
No, there's only a couple of fuses, so... Yeah. Let's go find the...
Yeah, you said there was one on the other side over there?
There should be a panel. So yeah, this... If we open that up... There you go. That's more like it. Come on. You know you want it. There you go.
Right. Oh, that's much harder to access.
So we want to find a fuse that's only live when the ignition is turned on. So in order to test whether these fuses are powered when the ignition's on or off, there's tiny little metal plates on either end that we can use a voltmeter, stick each one on, and then it should measure a voltage if that fuse is powered. So we've got it set on 20 volts, so it brings out the right reading. And now we just need to go through each of these fuses when the ignition is on to see which ones are powered and which ones are not.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Still 0.
Okay, how the hell is anyone meant to reach these fuses?
Alright, the ignition's on. Now please tell me one of them is getting something.
Anything?
No.
Alright. Next one.
No. Yeah.
The end fell off. And the other end fell off. That's a problem.
I'll say.
How easy is that to be... Jeez, those wires are tiny.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why it's not reading?
Maybe. Because we weren't getting voltages on anything.
But we were getting ohms.
We were getting ohms, yeah.
So what?
So something was resisting. Okay, obviously we're doing this wrong. We're not making the connection right. We're not making the circuit right. We need a new voltmeter and we'll try this again.
Okay, so whilst we're waiting for a new multimeter, we're gonna carry on with the rest of the electrics, and we'll come back to the DC to DC charger at the end. Okay? So we need to connect the fuse box obviously to the battery to actually run the appliances, but one of the things we need to install on that line is a kill switch right here. So that is gonna go somewhere here. Though, to be perfectly honest, we forgot about the kill switch in our design of the box. So we might have to do another, like an extended board. But anyway, we'll wire it now and imagine where it's going to be screwed in. However, we're having some concerns with the fuse box. If you can see the wire here, that is an extremely tight turn. And although that's been crimped very, very tightly, I don't know how comfortable I feel with that.
So we've unscrewed it, and if this panel is extended, we're thinking of moving the fuse box, like, probably to about there.
Yeah, like that.
And that way there's less pressure on this wire.
Yeah, especially obviously here on the crimp right there.
The wire bending here on the negative might be fine, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we just shifted it and basically put the pressure off the crimp area. And especially since this is a van and there's going to be a lot of vibrations, I don't really want to put any more pressure on any crimps that we have to. So if that's going there, the kill switch will mount on the panel right next to it, like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so we just need a cable length between this positive and that giant piece on the back. That's what, 12 centimeters ish?
Well, yeah. Well, you measured it. There you go. Hold that. I'll hold the switch.
Okay. I'd say let's cut it at 12.
Okay, 12 it is.
12 it is. I'll leave that. Do we screw that in a new position?
Da-dum.
Just imagine this extends out, okay?
Da-dum. We actually cut this cable in half because we thought, well, actually, that's a bit too much length with the crimping eyelets here. So we use the other half to pre-position the bottom fuse box.
Yeah. Now we don't have a kill switch for the bottom one because we were only planning to have one fuse box initially, but we'll buy a second one. We only need one to make sure everything works at the moment. So, next one, even though we've got a kill switch, we still want a fuse for the fuse box.
Oh yeah, this is a manual kill switch, so this will not activate if there's a surge. This will break if there's a surge.
There we go.
Alright, so we've thought about the angle and we're thinking that's okay. Also, on this one, we flipped the eyelet the other way so it doesn't rub on this wall here.
So next we're going to connect our AC charger so this can charge it from mains power. Now the charger itself already came with eyelets so we can connect it to batteries. However, all we're going to do is add a fuse on the positive wire. So we're just going to cut the end off and add our own fuse box before we connect it to our batteries. So that is a 5mm cable. Well, I've got 6. Might have to use the smaller crimpers. Ooh. That seemed pretty tight, so.
You were saying? Is it doing it?
There you go. I'm going to give it a few more crimps because this thing is quite tough.
Okay, so to wire up the fan to test whether our rig is working, we need to run a wire all the way from the front to up here. So these are the wires that come with the fan. They go through our pre-drilled hole right here, and then this allows us to then do the cladding without the wires interfering. And then, so they just hop the framing and come out right here, and they go all the way there. So we need to solder on an extension to this wire that reaches the batteries right at the front over there. is the positive cable?
The Maxxair Fan black wire identified with a tag showing positive must be connected to the vehicle's 12-volt positive supply. This black wire needs to be connected to positive, and this white wire is the fan's negative to be connected to the black negative cable. They could have just made the black negative like 90% of electrics. Nope. So I've stripped them both back so they've roughly got an equal length of cable exposed, and then we'll mesh them in and twist them together.
Alright, go ahead.
So mesh those in.
Just like that?
Yep. And then twist it.
Quite a few fingers here.
Yep. Sorry. There we go. So they're twisted together, so we'll put solder over all of this so they don't come loose, and then we'll put heat shrink over the top to protect it. Right. Which reminds me...
We need to put the heat shrink on, which is why I got this in the first place.
Once you've let it dry, to make sure it's a good solder joint, you try and pull it apart, and that's not budging. So we went to Screwfix and pick up some of these because we didn't have any. So now we can connect this to the fuse box. Then we need to connect the negative wire, the big beefy thing, to the negative terminal of the battery, and then and then we need to turn this on, because this is currently in the off position, and when all that's done, that fan should work.
So this one can just tuck down here, like so.
Into that hole, yeah.
And then this one we thought tucking here.
Any of these negatives, but yeah, that one there.
Here.
So with these ones, we should be able to just poke this cable through. There we are, it comes out the top. And then we'll just crimp that down with, as you can see, blue is 2.5. So we need to crimp it down here at the front. Like so. So make sure that wire is poking out so we can see it just about. Then give that a really good squeeze. There we go. And that, give it a tug. That's not coming out. Put the bolt through, connect that on, and should be able to just screw that in. Screw that in tight. There we are. That negative is on. So that all has power. This doesn't have a fuse. So let's pop 10 amp fuse for the Maxxair Fan. Now the kill switch is still off, so there's no power going to the fuse box at the moment. So
the last thing to do is to turn that switch, okay?
And then the fan should have power.
Well, yeah, we can use the remote. Ah! Ooh!
I heard you. Let's go.
The fan did something. It's gonna be... Oh!
So that's opening it.
Right, okay, so that's open, that's spinning.
Yeah, it's at 20%. Ready? I'm going to boost it to 100%. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
I think you can hear it better than see.
Yeah, but it's on.
Fan's working.
We have power.
And, so far, no explosions. Success!
By the way, have you noticed? It knows the room temperature. By the way, have you noticed? It has the room temperature, so it must have a thermostat somewhere.
Oh, I was like, 29 degrees? Dude, you're kidding?
15.
Okay, it's 15. Is it?
It's 15.
That's nice.
So that has a temperature sensor in it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Wow. There you go. Oh, and I want to test one thing.
Yeah.
So if there's an emergency and we're in desperate need and we need to kill the power, kill power.
And now it stops. Alright, so what happened? It's been days. I'm kind of losing track. Alright, we never got back to the DC to DC charger, and we decided that we'll do a dedicated video on finding the ignition and wiring up the DC to DC charger, because that thing has like 7 cables, and I think each one deserves a sentence on its own. And this video is probably already too long as it is. So today we have successfully connected the batteries, the AC charger, and connected one appliance to the fuse box, and successfully run it, which is finally... Jeez, took us long enough. Finally, we can start plugging in stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, because we have lithium batteries, we are running a BMV, so that's why we connected everything to that negative shunt, and we'll show you how to connect that later down the line in its own video again, because again, we have to set it all up. It needs its own video to explain.
In other words, we need to go research how to plug it in.
Exactly.
So yeah, see you next week. I do think we're going to carry on with the electrics next week. Probably connect either the BMV or the DC to DC. Depends which one comes in sequence. Yeah, so come and join us. We have fun. We play with wires and souls and have a chalkboard, have ivy. Subscribe, and yeah, I'm weird and I want cake. It's my birthday and I'm gonna eat cake again.
So you did electrics on your birthday?
Yes, I did.
Your birthday present is the fan?
Yes, I'm very, very sad. I do electrics on my birthday.
Cake time. Come on, cake time.